Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 60421, Robot World Roller Coaster Park from the LEGO City theme. This set contains 986 pieces, 8 minifigures, and will retail for $99.99 in the US. This set does not officially release until June 1st, 2024 in most parts of the world and August 1st, 2024 in North America, but it was gifted to me for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So here's the Robot World set, and just visually right off the bat, this is a very cool looking one. It's like an arcade that also has a roller coaster going throughout it, and I love just the colors and everything used. But before we take a look at the main build, I want to talk about probably the most exciting part about this set, and that's this mech over here. Now, mech in a LEGO City set is something we see every now and then, but it's not the most common thing. However, this isn't exciting because it's just a mech. No, this is actually a remake of an old LEGO Exo-Force set, the Stealth Hunter, which I'll put a picture on screen right now. Exo-Force, if you don't know, is a LEGO theme from back in 2006-2007, so it's really cool to see that reference back to, now that it's been like almost 20 years. I remember seeing the Exo-Force sets in magazines as a kid, but I never got the chance to get them myself, so it's really neat to have a modern version of one of them, so let's take a look at it up closer. It's on the stand in the arcade to sort of be like a mascot, but it can very easily be removed. It has Technic holes in the bottoms of its feet, and it connects to these Technic pins. And here's how it looks fully removed from the build. This is obviously very different from the original version because it uses a lot of mini ball joints, so I think it makes the final build significantly smaller than it used to be, but I think that's okay because it captures all the important aspects. There's stickers on like the shin armor, and again, it seems to match the stickers almost exactly to the original set. Obviously, it's been updated to be like a more modern LEGO design, but feels very in line with that original set. In the original version though, these like wing pieces on the side did have stickers, and that's not the case here. However, as I said, this is a smaller scale, so I don't mind that as much. The mech's of course using SCCBS joints for the legs, which is one of my favorite LEGO parts of all time. Those do a really good job to create the shape of the legs, and I also like how it's textured on the side. It's not just the exposed joint. Now coming to the top of the legs, you can see they're connected on mini ball joints, but there's a clip on both sides, and that kind of prevents the joint from moving. You can still rotate it out like this and I guess spin it around, but if you want to kick it forward or move it back, it's locked in place. And when I first saw that, I was really disappointed, but then I realized this is very easy to fix. So you might be wondering, why do they do that at all? And my guess is that they do that so it always stands up straight when it's connected to the main build. Because if those clips weren't there, the body is a lot heavier than the legs, so I could see it falling backwards sometimes if you're moving the set around. But those clips allow this mech to keep its function as a statue in the set, while also not detracting from the looks too much, and being very easy to replace if you want to turn this into a regular mech that can actually use its legs. We have a very classic looking LEGO cockpit piece up here. It's actually not the same one as the original set, but it looks very similar. And inside you can see there's room to fit a minifigure. So there's how it looks to put one inside. You can see he just slides into the base right there. You can fold this back up around him, so you can still have a character pilot this mech. These like giant wing pieces at the top are again very similar to how they do it on the original. They're a little bit smaller than the pieces they used on that one, but a very, very similar shape. And these are on little hinges, so you can fold them down if you want or move them back up. That gives you more options for posing. Then the arms are of course just mini ball joints. They use the ingot pieces for texturing because of course they do. And one side has this giant blaster cannon, which is a very simple build, but I love how this looks. Again, it feels very classic LEGO to me. Definitely feels like something that could have come out in 2006, even though obviously things like mini ball joints didn't exist back then. And same thing on the other side, they keep the actual arm very simple, but the mech's holding this giant blade in its hand. And this uses like a lot of candlestick pieces to create that shape, but the actual blades on the end are the most interesting part. Those are the pieces that were originally introduced in Nexo Knights, I believe, but more commonly these days they're known as Maze Sword from LEGO Monkey Kid. But I don't believe I've ever seen that part in a non-transparent color. It's been transparent in quite a few different sets, but yeah, now it's solid white in this set, and that's honestly a really cool new part to get. I feel like that could be very useful for like custom weapons and stuff, so it's very neat to get that here. And of course the mech clicks back onto the build in the way I showed you before. There's holes in the bottom of the mech's feet, so you can slide those on there super easily, and that way you can set it up and pose it. There's a little bit of articulation you can get while it's on here, but as I said, those clips really restrict movement of the legs, so you can move it from side to side a little bit, and obviously the arms have free motion, and I think that's a good balance, honestly. It makes it a good display piece where it's not going to fall over under its own weight, but gives you enough that you can actually play with it and pose it. So yeah, this is probably the most exciting feature of this set. However, there is still a lot of cool stuff in here, including more references to older LEGO themes. So let's move over a little bit. I'm actually going to cover the roller coaster last, because of course that goes throughout the entire build. But here we have this main platform. It's got a little loading area for characters to actually get onto the roller coaster. But other than that, it's just very open. I kind of love that because this is meant to be an arcade and like a theme park. So this is the kind of space you'd want to fill with just like as many minifigures as you can. It does look a little bit simple when it's not populated, but that's kind of the point, you are supposed to populate it, so I don't think that's a point against this set. On the left side there's a slushy stand, and the graphics on it seem to be referencing the slushy truck set that came out last year. That's something I love about LEGO City, because even though all the sets are obviously disconnected, they're each their own thing, they often have references to other sets just to like build out the world, make all these sets feel connected even if you don't have every single one. So like, this is a reference to a set from a year and a half ago, but that's very nice to see here. And if you don't get the reference, it just works in the context of this set. It still looks really nice and fits in great. Above it too, there's a little brick-built slushy cup, and that serves as like a little sign. Then on the other side, of course, there's the double doors to get into the arcade, and this little booth where someone who works at the arcade would stand. And you can see above it there's a sticker with pictures of the characters on the ride. That's a very cute detail because, of course, at actual theme parks they always take pictures of you when you're on the rides, so it's nice to see them capture that in a LEGO City set too. And if I move the camera up a little bit, you can actually see the camera that's taking the pictures. It hangs up here at this part of the loop, but yeah, that's just a classic LEGO camera piece in blue, with like a cylinder coming off of it to make it a longer lens. Right above that too, we have this giant video game controller build. Again, I think this is meant to serve as like another logo for the arcade, and that's built quite well, immediately recognizable as what it's supposed to be. To the left of that, we have the spot where the DJ performs, and we'll take a close look at that when we move inside. But from the outside, you can see there's a sticker like representing the sound waves, and all these speakers right above that. I like how the speaker pieces actually use microphone pieces in the center. That's a great build that uses very little parts. But anyway, now moving back down, let's open these doors up and take a look inside. Here's a look at the other side of those doors, and to the right of it is the other side of the slushy stand. Nothing too crazy going on here, there's another rounded counter, and an actual slushy machine. The slushy machine, as well as all the arcade cabinets in the set, are very easy to be removed, so here's a look at it up closer. Again, a graphic that's reminiscent of the slushy truck from last year, and it looks like there's two different flavors, as well as nozzles to dispense them. To the left of the doors, there's two arcade cabinets that I mentioned, and they can come off very easily as well, and these reference two more older LEGO themes. This green one references Alien Conquest, which was one of my favorite LEGO themes as a kid. It literally only had one wave, and I was super disappointed about that, because I loved the theme so much and I was so upset there wasn't more. So it's really neat to see it have references here. This is like the big bad of that theme, and I remember the spaceship set too. And then if we look at the actual gameplay in the center, it looks to be somewhat like Space Invaders. But yeah, very cool reference, probably my favorite one in this set. And then the other one's a slightly newer theme. It's a game called Chase. It's got like a LEGO chair here and a steering wheel. But the set that they're showing is actually a LEGO Ultra Agent set. That was a theme around back in 2015. It's where Tox and Palman come from in LEGO Ninjago. But yet another really cool reference. And if you don't get the reference, it works as just like an arcade cabinet. And honestly, I think the Ultra Agent's aesthetic works really well for a video game. Putting those back and moving to the left of them though, now we have like a little video game tournament going on. There's two screens set up with video game controllers in front of them. These were the printed pieces that were introduced in the minifigure series a while back, but have come in plenty of sets since. But yeah, those are always very good parts to get, and you get two of them here. And you can see it looks to be some sort of fighting game. This player is holding a sword and they're fighting like this blue creature, and the other player has the arms of the blue creature, and they're fighting someone holding a sword. If you don't know who these characters are, of course they are from LEGO Bionicle. The red one is Tahu. The blue one I'm actually not familiar with. I'm not like a Bionicle expert. I do recognize him, but I don't know all the names. But yeah, Bionicle's been being referenced a lot recently, and this is very cool to see again. I think this also somewhat ties into LEGO Friends, because I believe we saw a Bionicle video game in a LEGO Friends set previously, so I guess this further establishes Bionicle as a video game in the LEGO world. So it's really neat to see how these two stickers go together, two perspectives of the same game, and then we have the trophy in the center, I guess, to go to whoever wins that game. But that's not even everything for this setup, because if we go up above everything, there's another stickered piece right here, and this is meant to be a giant stickered screen showing the fight. Here you have a much better look at the two characters, and yeah, these are like the original Bionicle forms of them. It's not even like the gift with purchase version of Tahu. They got like health bars and stuff too. These are really good stickers. I honestly really love this. It's really neat how they all tie together, and I like them both in the context of being a reference to Bionicle and also just being like video game tournament being displayed on a screen. They convey that really well here. After that, we round this corner and we come to one final attraction in the arcade. This is the little Dance Dance Revolution style machine. Of course, it's not officially DDR because that's a license. This is just an unlicensed rhythm game. But yeah, you can see the little arrows, the cool, and wow for hitting certain moves. And this little dance floor jumper pieces where you can display minifigures playing the game. As a Ninjago fan, this is actually quite cool, because we've seen these in the Ninjago universe before, and in fact there's that scene in Seabound where Jay and Nia are using one. So honestly, those would be great figures to display right here. I think I'm actually going to do that. And then above it, similar to the video game tournament, there was yet another stickered piece, and that's a screen displaying their scores. We have two players, and I guess they pick their characters. One's this robot figure from, I believe, LEGO Creator, but that is an actual minifigure that exists, so very cool to see that referenced. And the other is the wind-up robot from an old minifigure series. This screen can be moved out of the way if you wanted to for some reason, and that's the same thing with the big Bionicle screen. And then we have one final thing inside the arcade. At the very top, we've got the little DJ booth. There's actually quite a bit of room up here to fit minifigures, so you can have the DJ walk around up there or have more than one character up there. And on his little turntable, he has 2 records that spin. Those are printed pieces, but they're not new for this set or anything, as well as like a stickered console in the middle. And then he's also got this little drone that sits right here, which you can take off and move around. That's honestly a pretty cute build. I like the use of like the wheel pieces to be the wings. It looks like drone wings like in mid-flight. So honestly a pretty cool inclusion as well. But yeah, I think that's everything for the inside of the arcade. So now let's take a look at the actual roller coaster. So starting with the roller coaster cars, they use the standard like roller coaster car body. This is only the second LEGO roller coaster I've ever reviewed, but I know the system's been pretty standard for a while. I will say I would have liked some more theming on these roller coaster cars. The previous one I reviewed was the Creator 3-in-1 like space roller coaster, and that was awesome because the roller coaster cars looked like little spaceships. But this, I don't know, they're just blue. And that's fine, I mean, it's still a fun set. But with how themed everything else is, like you got the video games, you got the giant controller, you got the mech in the center, seeing these just be sort of generic colored roller coaster cars, I feel like there's more you could do. That being said, it would be quite easy to customize if you wanted to, but yeah, it would have been nice if there was more in the set by default. Each of these cars has room to fit a single minifigure, and something I like is there's actually a bar at the front which you can close down. That way you can actually lock the minifigure in the car, just like you would do at an actual theme park. This works with both child and adult minifigures. I can close this up around this figure too, and there's room for 3 minifigures total, of course. So the characters load up here, and then you move them around, and then up this hill at the back, and then once you get to this point at the top right here, you just let go and let them ride. Here's a look at that from the back too. Again, you just lift them up this hill, and then let go right here. And they kind of just end up at the bottom right below the hill. LEGO roller coasters are inherently very fun, and this one's no exception. I like the little swirl in the middle, and I like how it goes through the arcade. That makes it feel a little more interesting, but at the end of the day, it is the LEGO roller coaster. It's not one of the big giant ones, so it's not going to be like super exciting, but I think it's fun, especially for kids. And there's more stuff to do in this set besides just the roller coaster. Lime green for the roller coaster tracks is quite cool too. I actually really like that color. There's actually a second camera right here that I didn't point out before. And then the final thing I want to point out is the stability of the actual track. Because there's these Technic support beams that come out of the arcade, and I thought that was like purely visual, and what holds the roller coaster up would be something different. But no, these are actually extremely sturdy. Like, I can push down really hard on this and it's not snapping. It really helps to hold these tracks in place. This feels like a very sturdy build. I was genuinely super impressed by that. This architecture is amazing, and it allows this part of the coaster to be held up without like something giant connecting it to the floor. And it's able to overlap itself too, because like this part of the track and this part of the track are in the same part of the build, just at different heights. But yeah, the designers did a great job with this. It looks good, but it's also very, very functional. And I think that's all I have to show for the main build of Robot World, at least for now. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video. For now, though, let's take a look at the minifigures that come in this set, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything, including the price and everything else. So here are the first 2 minifigures in this set, and of course, this is a LEGO City review. Most of the characters are somewhat generic, so I won't have as much to say about these figures as I would say a Ninjago minifigure. However, these first 2 do have all new parts. Starting with this guy, this I believe is meant to be the DJ, and he has a very wacky design. I kinda love this. He's wearing a light bluish gray hoodie, and I believe this might be the first time we're getting this hood piece in light bluish gray. That's an amazing part, and I'm very happy to see it in more colors. But yeah, it fits in perfectly here. But then the actual hoodie design has like pixels all over it in like pink and black. And then his face print is just a pink pixelated smile, which is very weird. It's not like anything I've ever seen from LEGO before. Around the back, there's this super creepy design of like this cackling face, and again, more of those pink and black pixels. And if we take the hood piece off, there is actually an alternate face here, where instead of a smiling pink pixelated face, it's a sad pink pixelated face. And yeah, I just love this minifigure design. I feel like this could have been like a villain in LEGO Dreams or something. LEGO City is not where I'd expect to see this minifigure, but I love it. It makes the set feel extra special. It's really cool to get something that isn't just like generic person. This is super unique. And this is the kind of minifigure that I know, like, if I had this as a kid, I would have come up with so many stories and stuff when playing with it. Tons of possibilities here. And also just works as a cool looking DJ. I really, really like this guy. And then this next minifigure, not as interesting. I believe she's meant to be one of the workers here, or maybe just a huge fan of the arcade. But yeah, unprinted legs, pretty generic face print. The hairpiece, the color's a little interesting. I don't think that's the most common color for that part, but still a very common hairpiece. But the cool part about her is that torso print, because that torso print has this symbol that's also on the Exo-Force mech, so I believe that is a symbol from Exo-Force. That's a very cool thing just to add to a LEGO collection, and it fits in with like a lot of the stuff that we've seen from Ninjago City, such as the Bionicle torso and the Galador torso. This is yet another older LEGO theme that's now on a t-shirt in the LEGO world. You can see she does not have an alternate face around the back, but yeah, this is another super cool one. Very fun collectible to have. And then you can see she comes with a printed phone piece, nothing new there. But hey, these are always nice to get. And then here are the next two figures in this set, and this one on the left is actually a returning character, I believe from the big LEGO City set last year. I think it was called Downtown. But yeah, something else cool that LEGO City sometimes does is they have recurring characters in the sets. Obviously, LEGO City isn't a theme like Ninjago where you have like all these named characters from the show. I know there is a LEGO City show, so this might be someone from the show, but I also know sometimes they just do it with characters only in sets. But yeah, this was the influencer character in the Downtown set. He had like the little streaming setup, so it's really cool to see him again here. It expands the LEGO City world by putting the same characters in multiple places, and this was one of the best figures in that set, so it's really cool to get him again. Love the hairpiece in lime green, that's a very unique color for that part. And around the back, you can see on his torso it says 27. Not sure exactly what that's referencing, but the actual torso design is quite cool. Love the colors of the jacket and the undershirt and everything. And then fairly standard face print on him, and he does have an alternate face where he's scared, which ties in perfectly with the roller coaster in this set. Then the guy I have on the right here is the slushy salesman, and this is a really creative reuse of parts because his torso and legs are from the slushy van set that I was talking about. In that set, the person running the van is in like a full penguin outfit with this torso, so this guy doesn't get the penguin hood here, but he still has that torso print. And that's a great way to reuse it, because yeah, the slushy stand fits in perfectly in this set, and the torso helps make him feel specific to it. Good hairpiece on him, it's a more modern one, so always nice to get, but it has been very common as of the last few years. No alternate face print on him, but he does have a hearing aid, which that's always nice to see. And I think the face print's good. Of course generic, but I think it's friendly, very welcoming. No complaints from me. Here are the next two characters, and I don't have a ton to say about these two, because they're just combinations of generic parts we've had before. I do like the torso on the girl, probably one of my favorite just generic LEGO City torsos we've gotten, but it has been around for a few years now. She does come with a selfie stick as an accessory, which is pretty cool. I like that it uses the Monkey Kid hilt piece. And we have a third different type of phone here. 3 of the minifigures in the set have phones, but they're each different ones. And none of them are new, but that is nice. It helps keep the characters more unique. Her hairpiece is also somewhat uncommon, though it does come in a lot of sets, especially on like child figures. And I like the pink hoodie on the character on the right. Taking the hairpieces off, there's a full look at the face prints, and turning them around you can see the alternate faces. This character's just got like a super wide smile. And her lipstick's actually metallic pink, which is a very fun color. While the guy on the right's throwing up a little bit, and again, that ties in great to this set because it's a roller coaster, and there's even the trash can in this set. That face has been around for a while, but it's a great expression. And then I guess finally, I like the teal pants on the girl. That's a slightly more uncommon color for just unprinted pants, so it makes the figure a little bit more interesting. And then here are the final 2 minifigures of the set, 2 kids. On the girl, nothing all too new or exciting, very common parts on her. I do like that jacket piece, but I know I have seen it before. She comes with a red slushy as an accessory, and of course the slushy salesman comes with the blue one, so you do get one of each color in this set, and I don't have too much else to say. She's just got the surprised expression on the other side. But then the boy's a little more interesting. Torso print is very common, it's the banana shirt, very funny, but again has come in a lot of sets. However, what I really like is the face print and the hairpiece. Hairpiece isn't new, but it's definitely not the most common in the world, so always great to get. But the face print, I believe, is actually all new for this set. I personally have not seen it before. But the character's got glasses and just like a very angry expression, and that's great because I don't think we had a child face with glasses before in a yellow skin tone. This side of the face is very expressive too, like that emotion is super clear. And then he does have an alternate face where he's a lot more happy and actually seems a lot more childlike. The white short legs are slightly interesting too. I feel like that color's not super common for that part. But yeah, between these two, the most interesting part is definitely that face print. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? Honestly, this set's really good. I quite like it. Now, do I recommend it? That's another story. The price on this one's $100, which honestly I think's pretty solid. That's not bad by any means. The piece count's not the best, but it's also far, far from the worst. And you gotta consider there's a lot of huge pieces in the set, such as the roller coaster tracks. So 100 doesn't feel bad for the size of what you get here. But yeah, would I recommend this? I think it depends on what you want. Are you just buying this for the Exo-Force Mech? In which case, probably not. Don't buy a $100 set just for that. But if you want to like a roller coaster, you've never had one before, I do think this one is really good. It's on the smaller end of LEGO roller coasters. It's not like a $400 Icons one, but there is still fun to be had with it. And the arcade inside looks great, and it's full of like 2000s LEGO references. And as someone who grew up with those sets, that's really cool to see. I do think this set is better for kids than for older collectors, but I don't think it's a bad set for older collectors per se. If you like the idea of a roller coaster or an arcade, honestly I think this is a set you should consider. It is on the simpler side because it is LEGO City, so if you want a super complex build, this isn't it. But the final model is fun, quite big, and very pretty, and the Exo-Force Mech is a nice bonus. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which 2024 LEGO City set you want to see an early review of next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!